vulnerable, they can be beaten, but they perform to such a high level. This game, they really didn't make too many mistakes.
Okay, so let's see what's in store for the band champions. Now getting into Champions League between these two teams, of course they will be swapping up, so Reason Gaming now take the blue side, and Kale, Syndra will be the first two ban outs. Of course, the Syndra against Power of Evil, don't want to be facing that one. The Kale against Alex that we saw earlier. Caston LeBlanc will be coming in from Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy to see Twitch being banned away here from Freeze, just on the perspective of that's going to give Reason Gaming, I feel, a lot better a chance here in this game. Not that, you know, Twitch is, and Freeze haven't got other champions that Freeze can play there. He played Draven earlier, but it didn't quite work out. That was actually the game they did lose to N Faculty. So, Jack's the final ban away here. None of that for Alex this time around. Braum instantly locked in.
Yeah, Braum once again is going to be on the battlefield for Reason Gaming. A very confident, quick picks though from Ninjas in Pyjamas. Alex is going to go for Irelia, and Ku picking Lucian, of course, for Freeze.
Yeah, and I don't think we've actually seen Alex on Irelia this tournament.
No, we haven't.
He's played a lot of Shyvana, a lot of Jax, Kale from time to time, so this is a new one for us, but you have to assume he's going to be as good on it, otherwise he wouldn't pick it.
Of course, so what are Reason Gaming going to bring into the mix? Well, Lee Sin on kickers is nothing that is new to the tournament. We've seen him on that champion a couple of times and has done well in every single time we've seen him do it, so why change the recipe if it tastes good? But Graves could be another pickup here, and I think they locked that in.
It could be indeed. Now, there's something interesting here that I want to kind of look at is that as the top lane gets locked in there for Shyvana, obviously NIP prioritizing Irelia for Alex higher than they prioritized Lee Sin for Ku. And we know how good Ku is on Lee Sin, so that's kind of interesting to see that they're going to give that back to Reason. They said, wasn't too much of a problem last time, we'll give it to you again.
Yeah, very confident play, as we said before. Again, looking at Evelyn Leona, no hesitation, no delay at all, just bang bang and straight back over to Reason Gaming.
Yeah, indeed. Haven't seen a lot of Leona either. That's another champion I believe we saw in one game, perhaps, earlier on in the group stages. Seen a lot more of the Thresh, Morgana, Braum setup. So interesting that Thresh was available. They didn't end up going for it. Just checking through the bans to make sure you know, you always say something. Sometimes it's like, oh, it was banned. But no, that wasn't the case this time.
Yeah, so they did pick up the Shyvana to go against Irelia. Again, a matchup we've seen time and time again. And then Ku will probably be on Evelyn. But again, it's all with the idea of Graves. And we have seen people hover over that in Champion Select, but never really finalized the pick.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen a lot of Graves this tournament at all. So interesting now, it wouldn't be a bad pick. Yasuo is still available, and do you know what? The synergy between Yasuo and Braum is amazing. It's almost as if the champions were meant to go hand in hand here. We're waiting for a mid laner. Could be a number of things. Lulu, yeah, that makes a lot of sense here. But Yasuo, Braum, the ultimates go together. The knock-up into the last breath. The dual projectile destroying shields make it very difficult to do any kind of siege against them. And, you know, from there, the burst damage on Reason is insane.
And we actually saw SK Gaming Prime, I believe, run these identical two champions, because we talked about this at length back then as well. So I think they were against Ziggs, if I'm correct, and they just kept blocking him all the time. It must have been so frustrating to play against that combo.
Yeah, even blocked a Mega Inferno Bomb at one point.
Yeah,
It was just like really, really annoying to try and go up against that. And not only do they have the synergy there, we've got the Dragon Rage from Lee Sin, we've got the ultimate, the Dragon's Descent, lots of dragons on their team, but more importantly, the synergy with that and Last Breath for the initiation from Yasuo.
It's an interesting one because we saw NIP go for a heavy AP composition last game. Free handwriting gets into my brain sometimes, compo or comp. But, oh, we're still on screen. There we go. Now we got the crowd. Okay, so we saw a very heavy AP composition coming out earlier from NIP. This is a very, for the most part, AD composition coming out of Reason Gaming, because although Shyvana's going to do a bit of mixed damage for the most part, you look at Lucian, you look at Yasuo, Graves, Braum, a lot of it is going to be physical damage. There's bits, spatterings of AP in there.
Indeed. So, where will their strength lie in this game? Because, of course, they'll be strong early, but when people start itemizing armor, you're basically mitigating the damage from a lot of the teams. So, that will be an issue when we get to mid-game, but when you start accelerating the item build, doesn't matter how much AD you have, it won't be able to stop it with more armor.
That thud means we're getting into game.
It does indeed. That's what I was just about to say. You beat me to it, Stress. Damn ya.
For the punch.
Yes, absolutely. And there we go. Well,
There was no punch. Wasn't in fact a pause screen.
I was about to hype.
Yeah, we're
no.
going to say, starts with a bang from the thud. of the,
Or someone falling over.
Yeah, exactly. No, it actually was a whimper, straight into a pause. But hopefully, it's not going to be a long pause. But, you know, we want the players... Oh, Power of Evil's gone.
That's a new one, actually. I don't think we've seen him disconnect before.
So you can take fun, freeze, voidle.
Yep, ticking off players one by one.
Yeah, that's it.
Dropping like flies.
Well, let's hope we do get onto the Rift very shortly. Otherwise, we're going to have that preview screen for quite some time. As you can see both the icons there. We are indeed in the matchup between Reason Gaming and Ninjas in Pyjamas in the grand finale of DreamHack Summer 2014. Winner will pick themselves up 70,000 Swedish crowns. And the overall prize pool, about $30,000.
Yeah, so to do a little bit of quick maths, hate doing it on cast, but you know, the conversion rate into British is actually close to 1 to 10. So it's around about £7,000 for our UK viewers out there. So, you know, that'll give you a good idea of how much that is. Anybody on any other currency? Sorry, my maths isn't that good.
About 8,000 euros, I think.
There we go.
I just like the fact you converted it first to the UK currency and not the entirety of Europe where we are currently.
Hey, look, as I say, never do maths on cast unless it's really easy. And 1 to 10 I can just about do.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, we are all from the UK, so for us it is the easier conversion.
It is. It was a good trip out here for us as well. It's interestingly, the first time we've all stood in the same place, the three of us. We casted many events together, but never here in front of such an awesome crowd like DreamHack. Here at DreamHack Summer 2014. You can hear them. They've stuck with us here throughout the day. Quite a few games today as we have gone through both semis and the grand finals, but they have been here for the ride with us, and we have enjoyed every single moment of it.
Yeah, through thick and thin. And at the moment, we are going through another pause. So, mad props to you guys as you can see them there on the screen. And hopefully, we're going to be able to hear them shortly when we get into the Rift once again. Again, we're not too sure what the issue is. Hopefully, it's just something like peripherals. I think that's been the kind of continuous issue that we've had so far.
Yeah, indeed. But we did have Power of Evil reconnect to the game, and we have the countdown. So, in 2 seconds, we will get into game.
Hello. It looks like we are now onto the Rift, ladies and gentlemen, and for what could be the final time for tonight, and indeed the entire tournament. So I'm going to test your vocal cords, potentially for the last time. If you want to see Reason Gaming pick up this and take it into the third matchup, let me hear you make some noise. A few. Just a few. Okay. Opposite side. Let's turn the tables. If you want to see Ninjas in Pyjamas win this entire thing, scream!
Well, that's what you call a home crowd advantage, and that's what you call a pause screen.
Oh,
wow.
Dear. I also thought Metas was about to turn into Bruce Dickinson for a second there. Scream for me on shopping! Oh, that was kind of
They didn't do it for you.
anticlimactic. I don't have that power. I lost that after the intro.
Get Shrek'd, mate.
Oh, dear. See, after Sabaton played, I thought we might have a couple of metal fans in the crowd, but, you know, I guess, obviously, my Bruce Dickinson impression requires a bit of work.
That also gives us a chance to just delve into DreamHack a bit more, because people that have just heard what you said are going to be like, wait a second, what? There was a metal band playing at a LAN event.
Yeah.
That's the craziness of DreamHack for you. We loved the show as well, by the way. It was awesome.
I'm not typically a metal fan either, and I was converted. So, you know,
Really?
that's, yeah, indeed. So,
Okay.
you know, that's testament to it by itself.
You don't
Testament.
even know what you did.
That's tested.
You have no idea the pun you made there. Does it
awesome.
people in the crowd know what Pulse said? And Pulse
I didn't
doesn't
even know what I said. But
I think they were also cheering, guys, because we're back on the
I was
Rift
going to
as well.
say, I didn't see that bit, but we are back onto the Rift here. But it is Ninjas in Pyjamas and Reason Gaming here for Game 2 of our best of 3 finals.
So, Take Fun and Power of Evil in the mid lane. Hello, Alex Fitch and Kubon dropping very low. Makler as well will be dishing out the pain to Freeze as he's just walking back to turret. That's a lot of damage coming out. You are going back to base, says Makler.
we've seen this before. This is so nostalgic. That we saw Lucian get pummeled, have to go back to spawn, and then fall behind. He should be able to get back in lane in time this time, though.
Yeah, indeed. And
Minions have
freeze.
spawned.
There we go. Just the minions have spawned. He'll be walking alongside his little friends as he comes from base. Lulu is spinning around in circles, and Libic is walking down the river into the bottom lane. So Braum and Graves, and I remember when this came out, people were like, Braum and Graves would probably be a pretty good combination, but we didn't see it too much. You dash in with the quick draw, look for the close range buckshot, stand behind me, comes in, and you're already both in melee range.
Crazy level 6 burst potential as well, with the collateral damage and buckshot combos. I love Graves. Absolutely love him as a champion. And very interested to see how Makler makes use of Mafia Graves. Let's be honest, it's the best Graves skin.
Indeed, and Libic will be rocking out the classic skin there in the bot lane. Did manage to land the first stack of concussive blows onto Leona, but they didn't go all the way with it. But they have established the lane dominance, as you can see. Libic is quite happy to sit in front of the minion line.
Seems content right now. Bot lane already is getting pushed out pretty aggressively as well, may I add, from Reason Gaming. And that pretty much is just Braum. And we saw Voidal doing this a lot when he was playing the champion. He just wants to get up in the grill of the opposition. And when you've got a Leona as well, which is a melee champion, yes, you can engage at level 6 from range, but until then, you are pretty much going to get battered.
Feels like the majority of the early back and forth has always been in bot lane, especially for the last 3 games. We've always been talking about it, but it's still remained true. In the top lane, 11 CS to 3 as the minions finally hit the tower of Alex Ich. And he is now on the receiving end. Remember, he was playing Shyvana in the last game. Now he's playing the Irelia matchup, so it's like saying, well, I beat you with Shyvana, I'll try and beat you as Irelia. I play both of the matchups and both as well.
Yeah, you can see though that Ku lurking around in the shadows, as is Kikis, who's actually backing away. Lee Sin is going to do just the same.
Okay, so was some tension building, but it's all kind of fizzled out in the top lane. And again, the poke from Makra is mounting up into Freeze and Voidal, but nothing significant just yet. Lots of pings going down, however, into the upper jungle area. Kikis will be forced to expend his ward just to get over the Baron pit.
Sorry, I'm still thinking of that Testament pun that you unwillingly made. It was so damn good, man.
Oh my.
Only you knew.
I have no idea what I said, but I'll take your word for it. In the bottom lane, Libic will get the last stack of concussive blows, the extra damage and the stun coming across, and Freeze will also take some hits, but Makler quite content to farm. 23 CS to 19 at the moment. Not the biggest thing in the world, but we'll go for the engage. Stand behind me comes out from Libic, and he'll start zoning away the opposing AD carry. Voidal now takes some hits. There's the heal coming out, and there's the shield as well, kind of at a 90-degree angle to where it needed to be, but did block some shots from Freeze.
Both AD carries giving as good as they're getting right now. And that's going to pretty much transition itself into a 2 CS differential, so really nothing too serious kicking off there. But the summoners that were burnt, in fact none of the summoners were burnt except for heal from Freeze.
And Paraviva was being aggressive in the mid lane. Here's a teleport now coming in from the top laner of Alex Ich. And arrives in mid lane and is like, oh, well, the engagement's gone, and I guess I'll wander back to top lane. So that is a big summoner spell burn, however, and it wasn't used on a tower, so that means it won't have the extra 100-second cooldown reduction.
Also, speaking of summoners burnt, Makler used his heal just a few moments ago. He's very low still. So if Leona does catch a Zenith Blade away from that tower, Makler could be falling prey very, very quickly. Pings going down. Look at the position of Ku. He's behind enemy lines. He wants to try and make something happen. And in doing so, he's going to force Lee Sin away from that Wraith camp, who is flashing up red. Should be okay, though.
Okay, so he's going to force him away, and he's going to start taking the Wraiths as well. Can he do that? In fact, he just leaves it. So he will be leaving a big one for him while taking away the small ones. That's a new form of counter jungling that I've never really seen before. I'll make it easier for you to clear the jungle. But Ku now heading into the bot lane. Makler is on very critical HP. Libic is there to defend it, but how fast can he react? While the quick draw, can he do any more? And now there's the flash forward into the shield of Daybreak. The piercing light doesn't connect, but Ku is there to get first blood of the game. Libic, will he be falling? No, he will not, but Alex Ich falls in the top lane.
Yeah, global devastation, and that's going to be a 1-for-1. But was NIP that chimed in for that first kill. So they are going to get the added benefit of that one right now. And it was on Ku, so he's gone for double longsword. Spirit of the Elder Lizard more than likely going to be coming in.
In the mid lane, I haven't really spoken too much about this matchup at all, really, but Take Fun versus Power of Evil, just glance across at that CS differential, 25 to 44 from Lulu.
Yeah, and even though Yasuo has that shield early on, and after the Wind Wall can start blocking some of the damage that Power of Evil is going to put out, that's just the strength of Lulu in the early game. Is able to lay down harass pretty effectively here, and Take Fun's only just level 6 as well, so there was a bit of an experience difference between the two as well. Bit of a skirmish around the top lane, top side of the jungle, but nothing too much. There they go in.
That's going to be going in on Take Fun, but he can just quickly dart away. Here comes Kikis as well, forcing that flash away. They're jumping on top of Power of Evil, and they will get the man.
That was very smooth from these two laners, and the jungler of Kikis came in with the Q, came in with the Steel Tempest Whirlwind. It was just textbook from these guys. Definitely know what they're doing in terms of coordination, and they definitely have that down. Reason Gaming now leading in this game, 2-1, finds Ku 1-on-1, and lots of damage exchange back and forth, but Kuban is there to back him up, so Ku was against the clock if he wanted the kill. Definitely winning that trade, but Kikis will escape with his life.
Alex is also starting to get en route to help his teammates as well, so if they kept chasing, they could have found themselves quickly silenced as a result. Ku picking up Wolves is going to be moving down potentially to bot after taking down the blue buff, which I'm sure he's going to gift across the Power of Evil. There you go. He'll be speeding himself towards the blue.
I'm going to lose a few CS in the process, but not too much. Nothing to write home about at least. The bottom lane Makler has completed a full BF sword, and he has that over freeze. That's a lot of damage to offer right there when it comes to a trade. As the Zenith Blade not quite connecting onto its target of Braum, but it's interesting they are still looking for those trades, because Graves, in a close encounter, you would expect to be maybe a little bit stronger.
Yeah, Graves really excels in close quarters because he doesn't have the greatest range with his auto attacks, and as we mentioned previously, his burst at level 6 is just huge. Hasn't quite hit 6 just yet, but it shouldn't be too long before he does so, about half a level I'm thinking. However, in the lane, again, just auto-attacking one another.
Yeah, between the lanes, we're not seeing too much action. It's all about the junglers to make the action become a reality for these players. In mid lane, lands the Glyph, lands the Ignite. He will be forced to flash away. Power of Evil, does he have enough damage? He's going for the tower dive, and he uses the Wild Growth as well, but this will surely be a 1-for-1. No, it will not! Take Fun gets the kill underneath the tower, and 1-for-0.
What a blunder by Power of Evil, a very uncharacteristic one as well. He thought he had the damage, but it's bottom lane, they continue the engage.
They do, it's going to look to be on Libic. Culling comes out from freeze. It's going to be a-okay though, can block most of that damage, but also on top of that as well, Yasuo dinged just at the end before dying, and that could have saved his life.
Yeah, it was close either way. It was down to the wire. That last auto attack, and again he goes for the engage. The Glacial Fissure comes through and splits Voodoo off from his ally, takes another Winter's Bite to the face as Maklo carries it with the damage, but let's throw it up to top lane because Alexich will pick up one. He jumps underneath his turret and Kuban will be forced to back away.
Yeah, that is an impressive play from Alex, especially considering that he died the last time one-on-one, so he is behind by 20 CS, and also at the time was a kill behind, so very nicely done, and he is kind of one of the masters of recovering. Bot lane Ku is going to be engaging on Makler. Agony's Embrace goes down as well. Libic turning it back around, and they will force Evelyn away just for now.
He will, and you won't hang around either, but Makler flashes up red. Only a sliver of health remaining, must have taken an Ardent Blaze or something, and Libic will have to stay in lane. That's a fairly hefty minion wave heading towards the tower, but he has no option other than to go back to base and regenerate some of that HP. In the mid lane though, 2-0-0. We were saying before how Take Fun was 20-30 CS behind his lane opponent. Not only has he stabilized, but he's also two kills over.
Yeah, that's actually an important point to make. So he's hanging on in there in the mid lane. He's not quite collapsing just yet, but again, I'm a bit shocked at that play in mid. Because, as Stress said, very uncharacteristic. Normally, this is a clinical player who will never stay his welcome. He's quite a safe guy, actually.
Yeah, and he's 0-2 right now. Although Lulu's always going to have utility, he's always going to have the wild growth as the game goes on. Those 2 kills have very importantly gone over to Yasuo, and is now at a point where that Static Shiv is nearly finished, and that is the first of the 2 core items. Take Fun's going to try and turn the damage onto Power of Evil now, not quite going to get too much of it, but Take Fun has the lead already, and that's something that will really help Reason Gaming here.
Especially when they have so many ways to initiate the fight, and then Yasuo is there for the follow-up. He's always for the last breath to get into the fight, necessarily wanting it for the execute, but will use it if it's there. It gives you the extra armor penetration that you'll want at the very start of the fight, so they'll have the Shyvana going in, and they'll have even the Dragon's Rage from Lee Sin able to do that. So, Freeze now here, juggling the damage. Akla just throwing out some auto attacks, trying to pick up some more minions, and they just go back to the farming frenzy.
They do, but Lucian at the moment is having the best of that farm period of the game. 103 to 86. That is in part down to the fact that Evelyn has been bottom quite a few times already in this game, so that has forced Makler back a bunch. And they haven't really been able to utilize that burst damage that we were talking about previously because of that. They've never been in a situation where Lucian and Leona have been low enough to just insta-gib.
Yeah, that's a very good point, in fact. They've never been really on top of that lane. And Ku now heading down to the Dragon area. Started it off with a hate spike, and now Power of Evil will also come in with those auto attacks. We'll be just chunking this one down, and it's just the job of the bottom lane to keep them at bay. Freeze and Voidal make sure they stay in their place. Likewise with the top lanes, both of the teleports need to make sure they do not let them go to Dragon, because they will take it by themselves, and there we go. It will go over to NIP.
Yep, NIP pick up that Dragon. 200 gold ahead. So still anybody's game, very, very close. Have a look across the board. Alex is still managing to keep himself close. Sunfire Cape finished off for Shyvana. Sheen actually for Irelia. So pretty much even Stevens.
Ward comes down. The Draven Ward will promptly be taken down by Kickers and Libic. And as you mentioned, the items, looking at the junglers, going for the same sort of thing, but importantly, Evelyn has picked up the boots and is now picking up even more items, including a pink ward and some normal wards as well, while Lee Sin doesn't even have any boots yet, so he's high mobility, but going from lane to lane, he has to have that in his mind beforehand. He can't just try his luck every time, because he's going to be slower to the punch.
And another thing as well is that Ku hasn't really made the same amount of use as I was expecting from that first blood. Yes, he got Dragon. Yes, he did go for the Spirit of the Elder Lizard as we were expecting, but he's not been that active apart from them. Power of Evil actually is going to fall in mid from Take Fun, and here comes the man I was just talking about, Ku. He does get hit into the air from Steel Tempest. He's still giving chase, does get the shutdown. He's not able to survive, as Kubon will flash underneath the tower to secure the kill.
Fantastic reactions from Kubon, brings him into the fight, makes that a 1-for-2 in favor of Reason Gaming this time. And they are still maintaining their advantage. It is still very small as an advantage. It is now no advantage at all, but they do have those 2 extra kills, but it's about that farm coming out currently from NIP, who are keeping them even.
Ironically, I think if I read that right, Take Fun could have survived there, but kind of dashed his way back alongside Ku. As Ku got blasted back by the Dragon's Descent, they just ended up kind of on top of each other, and Ku was like, oh, okay, I'll hit Q, and just kind of take you out from there. So a little bit of teeny little misplay out of Take Fun there. Maybe I didn't quite read that one 100%, but it kind of looked like it. So it's one of those little things that maybe didn't need to die there.
A small slip, maybe a bit of a lapse in concentration, which you can forgive these players. They've been playing all day. This is the 6th and 7th game of the day in this final series. We had 2 before, followed by 3 after that. And then the first game, of course, went to Ninjas in Pyjamas. Take Fun, however, has found himself caught out in the mid lane. But Transcendent Blaze from Alex Hitch will just be used to farm out the rest of the minions. So Take Fun will survive the day. 3-1-1. As well on his way to a Bladed Ruin King, it looks like as well. That is an item build we've been seeing constantly through the tournament by Yasuo players.
Yeah, he used his newly acquired Bilgewater Cutlass as well to slow down any potential predators, and did runny, nice one, scurry is the word I was looking for. got Run and Scurry mixed up. But he did scurry his way back towards his own tower. And this is a bit strange and not something that we've seen this entire DreamHack summer. Power of Evil is actually getting pretty badly beaten in lane. When was the last time we saw that?
Yeah, I don't think really ever. He was always commanding that mid lane, but now going against Take Fun, maybe he's Meda's match. Bot lane, both of the junglers again do not know the relative positions, but they both see an opportunity here, and the Q does not land, but he will go for the engage. Visual Vision will keep him away, but Q is coming in for the counter gang. Livik taking so much damage, but Kickers will be the first to fall. Collateral damage doing so much damage. There's the double. Can he make it? The triple. Macros retreating underneath the tower, gets the Rabbit, gets the last auto attack, and that will be the triple kill coming in for Q.
Yeah, big plays from NIP. They could potentially pick up this tower as well, as there is another creep wave coming on down, but actually instead will be mass recalling and using some of that newly acquired gold.
5-1-0. He must have a lot of gold to spend, and he actually opts towards the Bilgewater Cutlass, so looking for another damage item on Evelynn. He is so far ahead, he can make it work.
Yeah, and it's an item build that we've seen a couple of times. Power of Evil will get away from that. What that's going to allow Ku to do is stick on a single target, because right now NIP do not want to fight this 5v5. They want to catch, they want to maybe get a good flank out from Ku, and Ku having the Bilgewater Cutlass into Blade of the Ruined King, not only is he going to be able to use the W to get the extra movement speed, but those hate spikes and the Ravage, he'll be able to stick on top of the target using that active as well. So a smart buy here out of Ku, but it will make him less tanky as this game goes on.
We'll see how that item pickup works out in this 2 versus 2. Going on to Take Fun, they get one. Will they turn it around onto Kubon? No, they will not. And a 1-0 to NIP.
Yep, NIP pick up yet another kill, and it's on Take Fun, and he is the player that was starting to get towards dangerous territory. So locking him down, shutting him down somewhat, will also allow Lulu some free farm in the mid lane, which is desperately needed. Solar Flare has landed at bot lane on top of Makla, and now they are going to be re-engaging afterwards onto Livik. They really need this kill. Makla, there we go, the flash is going to secure the kill. It's actually Voidal that takes it down, and now Livik is the player that they want to focus on top of. It should be the double, and Alex comes in, uses his teleport, and they will take the tower afterwards. 25 seconds on a dragon. This is a big influx of gold.
Teleport into the Blade Surge, they get the next kill. Those 2 kills as well, 9 and 5, and have taken a significant gold lead in this game from Reason Gaming, who were commanding it just another couple minutes ago. Pickus is getting those golems, but will he be able to get the dragon, which is spawning in around 5 seconds? They're all congregating around the area. It's a reunion for ninjas in pajamas, but will Reason Gaming join the party? The dragon is falling very quickly, and they are harassing them away from it. Can they disrupt this one? Are they looking for the right opportunity? Kikis is being zoned away by Alexich, and that will be taken by Ku. Do they choose this opportunity to close in onto Ninjas in Pajamas? They do get the Blade of Ruined King onto Alexich. Kubon is pushing forward, there's the Dragon's Descent, and also onto Ku, gets a great wild growth. Everyone is knocked up in the air. Take Fun is taken down, and Kubon has to back off. He's also going to be a casualty. A double kill coming in for Freeze at the moment, and another kill. Make that the clean ace, and indeed the triple kill for Freeze.
Full house of kills, double kill for Evelynn, triple coming in on top of that, and an ace pre-level, pre-minute 20, I should say. Apparently we do have a replay coming up, fingers crossed. Are we going to get it? Let's see.
I believe we will. We'll be able to see that fight once again. Here you go. Coupon goes all the way in. They get the ultimate combo that they've been looking for from Yasuo. And I thought as this Glacial Fissure comes across that it may have evened up the fight, but Ku just has too much damage as this fight continues. Livik was the last man standing. Let them get up the triple kill, but live, they've actually been forced off the Baron here as well. So NIP were looking to convert that into a further objective. Couldn't quite do it because of the health.
You know, Reason Game threw everything at them, everything including the kitchen sink, and nothing really stuck. They just tanked through all of the damage, and I was going through that fight, and I was just expecting at least someone to take some damage from NIP, but 5-0, showing they are extremely dominant, not only in their mechanics, but also translating that to team fight. 8-1-3, after those 5 kills have been spread amongst the crowd.
The thing is, it's difficult to really return fire when pretty much everyone got insta-gift from the ultimate combinations that were landed from both the engage. In fact, hold the thought completely, because now Ku is going in. Solar Flare's landed as well. This is not looking too good, actually, for Ku. He has to back off, and now they're going back in once again. Lubick has actually died as a result of that one. Collateral damage through, and Freeze just about survives. Flash out of Steel Tempest. Power of Evil doesn't fancy his chances. In fact, this could turn horribly wrong for Take Fun, because he's going to get outnumbered. Graves in the back lines is going to have to back on away, because NIP are 5 players strong. Kikis is taking the brunt of the damage now, safeguarding away, but every single fight is going in NIP's hands.
And NIP are still keeping up the chase, and they will indeed land the next Zephyr. And now moving on to the next kill. Can they pick up the kill onto Kickers? No, they can't. Voidal is still trying to get into the action, but he's flanking the turret. A great Dragon Descent will get him back, but they are still keeping up the chase. And now Alex Ish is looking for even more blood.
And NIP are just rolling with it right now. Every single kill they get is really offsetting Reason Gaming's mentality here. They're going in at really odd times. Take Fun was once ahead in this game. Alex is going to, well, he'll take a Winter Spite. It won't actually affect him too much, but Take Fun was ahead. Now he's died pretty much 4 times on the bounce with nothing to speak of in between those deaths. And that is not what they want out of this kind of composition here with the Yasuo. We saw SK Prime work it very well, but this time it's just not going very well for Reason.
It's not, but how can they possibly bounce back from this? 5 to 18, they're 8,000 gold behind at 22, nearly 23 minutes, and the last 2 or 3 times when there's been a big team fight, they've got completely destroyed.
But they have to. That is kind of the predicament they're in at the moment. They have no way out. Makler is getting sliced up by Alex Ich, who finds another kill and is now on a rampage. In the top lane, Ku is looking to repeat the situation and kind of just stands there for a second, maybe looking and communicating with his team for a second, and we'll be losing that trade. Meanwhile, everyone's pushing in the mid, but a great Dragon Descent and turns around, and Flame Breath to the face will be getting the shutdown. 19-6, however, they are pushing the middle lane, but the minions have dissipated. Livic and Kickers are there to defend, and Unbreakable is going to tank the full force of their culling, and Take Fun gets initiated on.
Solar Flag comes down, there's the Glacial Vision as well. Take Fun is now jumping on top of... Oh, he actually missed the Steel Tempest. That could be huge, critical in fact. And now they've gone ahead and picked both the kills up. Steel Tempest, so needed to land.
That's a large portion of his damage. You don't land that, that's your bread and butter. And therefore, you will just lose the trade. And that's exactly what we saw there. They are buckling under the pressure. You can see even from these tiny mechanical missteps, this is not good times for Reason Game falling further and further behind. Innocent Pyjamas now move towards the Baron, and Reason Gaming are just not in position to contest. Their smite is all the way back at base.
It is. Baron is going down ever so fast. They're not even interested in checking. They know they have succumbed to their fate right now. The Baron is going to be on the side of Ninjas in Pyjamas, who are stepping ever so close to that grand finale victory. They're going to recall, they're going to have plenty money to spend. Here come some of the items, and then they're going to come back stronger than ever.
Reason Gaming, they just have to brace themselves. And there's so many ways to initiate a fight if Ninjas in Pyjamas want it. They have the Zenith Blade, which I called Zephyr before, which is an entirely different thing. But they will be able to use that to get into a fight. The Solar Flare as well, the Agnes Embrace. Hell, even Alex Ich will be jumping in. Then the Wild Growth on top of him. So many members can get into the fight and allow the team to follow up after. And the same story would be true for Reason Gaming if they were ahead in this game.
Don't worry, I called Libic Lubic before, which is both embarrassing and a huge... Kind of got Kubon and Libic mixed up, which are totally different players. Yeah, all the combos. They're going to be engaging up on both Libic and Kikis actually this time around. Ku is taking the front line. Kikis has nowhere to run. Dragon's Rage, though, will not back, trying his best to escape, but another couple kills for the side of NIP. Kubon, do you really want this? Freeze is pretty big. There's the teleport coming in as well, and Take Fun will fall.
And they will be picking up another kill. Can they get on top of Mackler? Well, Power of Evil wants it. You just get a help pick. Oh my lord, the damage from the Glitter Lance, and Q will just come in and pick up the kill. 4-0. They're just chasing them down. And Voidal was so tanky. And look at that shield from Power of Evil as well. They'll just be able to face tank this and easily take the bottom turret.
Yeah, Voidal's huge. You know something is going right when you play Leona and you have 0 down. That's pretty much acing the champion.
Yeah. Absolutely, and now 6-0-9 is the AG carry, being from Freeze. Kubon and Libic are trying to at least get something from this. They do see Alex switch over the wall and they land the Winter's Bite, but he's not the target they want to be initiating onto. He's not the target they are looking for in this game. And now Dragon is going to easily be taken by NIP.
Yeah, no quarrel whatsoever with this Dragon. It's not Reason Gaming's place to do so. They're 20 kills behind. They're only 1 tower behind, though. That could prove to be a saving grace if we potentially get to the 40-45 minute mark. To be fair, I don't think it's going to go that long.
And the problem is Reason just aren't finding the fights they want with their team composition early enough in this game. I mean, the argument can be made the later and later this game goes, if we get another 10-15 minutes in, one good team fight will win the game for Reason. If they land their combo, the death timers will be long enough that you can just chunk through the remaining towers and just end the game. But if Reason get caught out in a fight here, they could very easily start losing critical structures in their base, and I feel like NIP are going to be fishing for it. Ku is around the back!
And they will be going for this fight. Alex is still on the back line, but no doubt he'll find his mark very, very soon. Mackler will be disintegrating underneath the weight of Ku. However, they have returned with a kill on Freeze, and that is vital. But in turn, they also take Fun, who is incredibly vital to their team fight. And so will Kubon forward. Everyone is now just turn-tailing and running. But Lidic has been caught, and that is not the right place to recall kick, as you will also suffer for that mistake. And double kill for Power of Evil, 5-1.
The silver lining, though, is that Mackler's up in 10, so they're not going to be able to finish this game.
Or they will because they surrender.
Because of surrender mode. So, that's a pretty anticlimactic way to end the game. But ladies and gents, that is going to mean that Ninjas in Pyjamas are your champions for the DreamHack Summer 2014.
Unbelievable, 2-0 in this finals, and look how happy they are on stage, and they should be. That was such a good finals from them. It was so incredibly smooth all the way through the tournament, only losing 1 game, 5-1 in total. Impressive play from these guys.
Very, very impressive play. And they deserved it. Let's be frank, let's be honest. They dropped 1 game in the entirety of this tournament. That was to Faculty in the semi-finals. And then after that, they breezed past them. And the same can be said for these finals themselves.
Yeah, and just very impressive play from these guys. And they're just showing that, well, even though they haven't had all the experience together, mechanically they're very, very strong. And with time, they'll be even stronger when they get that synergy down. And who knows, they look unstoppable in this tournament here at DreamHack.
They really do. And I'm very interested as well to see where they're going to go from here. If they're going to keep going to higher and higher places.
Yeah, and they certainly will, if this performance is anything to go by. But what an incredible tournament. We've had so many great games over the weekend. And as you mentioned, the first games of every day have been explosive, but also ended with a bang as well in the grand finals.
Yeah, I would also like to give a huge thank you to everybody that made the effort to come here and actually spectate the game from the audience. You made it truly, truly special, and I'm sure the players are very, very grateful as well.
And thank you to everyone at home as well who tuned in over the weekend and stuck with us. There was a lot of games today. It was quite a long day, but a very enjoyable one. Of course, I was Richard Pulse Cam. Alongside me is Vince Metters Hill, and you can follow us on Twitter. You can see our tags currently on screen, but that has drawn an end to this tournament.
It has. It's been an absolute pleasure to cast with you. Pulse also Stress as well, but I believe if we are actually ready right now. Stress is pretty much ready on the stage to get the final proceedings underway. So it's goodbye from us, but we're going to send it over to Stress on the stage.
Thank you very much to Pulse and Metters. Hopefully everybody enjoyed all of our coverage here for the DreamHack Summer 2014 League of Legends Finals. Now, that leaves us with one very important job, and that is to award the novelty check, the prize ceremony, as everybody does enjoy a good prize ceremony, I believe. So, if we can get Ninjas in Pyjamas onto the stage and perhaps we can find our way with a check, that would be a pretty good thing so that we can present the winners of DreamHack with their check. But we do need that to actually do that. So here we go. Checks are coming indeed. We hope everybody enjoyed the tournament. Hope you enjoyed what was a fantastic final series. And I believe, here we go, the delivery. Unfortunately, you can't actually bank these in the bank. Actually, I believe it is Reason Gaming that we're going to hand over to first. So, Reason, can you guys join me here in the middle of the stage? Congratulations to Reason. They did have a tough group in Group A. It was Ninjas in Pyjamas that were alongside them in their group, but ultimately they would finish in second place here at DreamHack, taking home the prize of 3,500 SEK. Congratulations to Reason Gaming for second place. And as I said, that leaves one last thing to do. Thank you very much to the guys from Reason. Congratulations on second place. Good luck with the Riot Challenger tournament at the end of the week, as I believe you guys have some tough opponents in Gamers too. We're looking forward to seeing that, but that means it's time to award the winners here for DreamHack 2014. And that will be, give it up guys, for the Ninjas in Pyjamas. They have been pretty dominant all weekend, and they do deserve to raise the check high into the air. I want to thank everybody for joining us, from the production crew here at DreamHack, from the casters, myself, Stress, and Metas and Pulse, who have been casting all weekend long. We have enjoyed DreamHack immensely. I want to say thank you to the DreamHack guys for bringing us out here. Thank you to everybody for watching and interacting on social media as well. We will be back, I'm sure, DreamHack Winter. Make sure you stay tuned for that. But thank you very much. That's it for DreamHack Summer. Congratulations to Ninjas in Pyjamas!